What's up guys, Clark Kent here, and today I'm going to teach you how to lose 10 pounds as quickly as possible. Now, not to oversimplify things, but the real answer here is just don't eat. Now, for some reason, I just have the funny feeling that not eating just isn't really going to be the ideal scenario for you. Aside from the fact that you're going to lose all your muscle and end up skinny fat, you probably have no aspirations to make yourself closer to Gandhi. So let's rephrase this question to what is the best way to lose 10 pounds quickly? I'm going to divide this up into two main scenarios. Scenario number one, your girlfriend is tied to a chair in some kind of jigsaw contraption with 12 tons of dynamite underneath her. If you don't lose weight as quickly as possible while minimizing your muscle loss in a matter of weeks, she's gonna turn into a wall painting. Scenario number two, you're going to the beach and every single one of your exes are gonna be there, and there's gonna be a bunch of bad that you want to pull right in front of all of your exes at the same time with your shredded six-pack and its glory for all of them to see while you have 10 bad bitches on your arms in front of your exes. You've got maybe a few more weeks, couple months even, in this scenario to prepare for your revenge. So let's start off here with scenario one. You've got a few weeks. If you don't lose fat, your girlfriend's insides turn into a wall painting. What the fuck do we do? Well, we can't just not eat because we're not going to achieve our goal of minimizing muscle loss. But what we can do is something called protein-sparing modified fasting. Now, as a disclaimer, this video isn't going to be giving you advice on long-term weight loss techniques. This is specifically for people who, for whatever reason, just want to lose weight as quickly as possible while kind of reducing the amount of muscle you're going to lose. At the end of the day, with aggressive caloric deficits like this, you're pretty much bound to lose some amount of muscle mass. And I can almost guarantee you that you're going to lose fullness when it comes to glycogen retention and overall gym performance. But most importantly, we want to keep our actual lean contractile tissue here. So, protein-sparing modified fasting. What is it? Well, it's a technique where essentially you don't eat anything but just enough protein to give your muscle just enough building blocks to maintain itself, hopefully. So, as far as the calorie intake goes, about as low as you can go while achieving a gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, I gave you an extreme analogy earlier because pretty much the only circumstances you should be doing these protocols is if you have some kind of weird scenario like this where you just need to lose fat as quickly as possible. So, let's say you got your fucking 500 calories and it's pure protein. What about your training and cardio? You're probably not going to have any energy to train anyways, so you pretty much shouldn't be training at all during this time. Odds are you're going to be spinning your wheels. You're most likely going to hurt yourself because you've got no way to recover, no fuel. Just trying to give ourselves enough to get by and get through this girlfriend painting protocol. For some reason, you just really feel inclined to train. You're just feeling phenomenal on this 500 calorie diet and you're just really amped up to get in the gym. I would recommend a fairly light full body workout just about every 4 days. This is optional though. I would strongly recommend just taking this as an opportunity to deload because you're not going to be feeling so great. Cardio, quite frankly, completely unnecessary. Your deficit is pretty much at the upper limit of what your body can tolerate. Like seriously, you're already probably going to be in a 1500, 2000 plus calorie deficit. You're not going to need cardio and you're not going to want to do cardio. Pretty much it for scenario one. You don't eat all day, eat some chicken breast before you go to bed. You don't train and you don't do cardio. Just try to survive this diet from hell. Moving on to scenario two. This is going to be a little bit more sustainable, even though it's not sustainable at all. It's another diet from hell. Just a little bit of a higher circle of hell, you know, like if we're looking at Dante's Inferno, like the first one, probably the 7th circle. This one, maybe the 4th, maybe 5th circle. Not too bad in comparison. So in contrast to our previous scenario, where we're essentially doing no training volume, or maybe you just get in just enough stimulus to get in that minimum maintenance amount of volume to keep your muscle from pulling a Kurt Cobain. In this scenario, we train hard as fuck. To put it in perspective a little bit, let's say that you were in a mass gaining phase before you implement this protocol. Moving into this protocol, you would do almost exactly the same amount of volume and intensity. Obviously, just decreasing it a little bit. Maybe go a little bit lighter just so you don't snap your fucking shoulder straight out of the socket because our calories are low as shit. We want to get as much training stimulus in as we can to get the best body composition outcome possible, given the extreme caloric deficit that we're in. Now for this protocol, since you have a little bit more time on your hands to plot your revenge, you can of course afford more calories. As far as the actual deficit goes, we're looking somewhere in the range of a daily deficit of about 1,000 to 2,000 calories, depending on of course your actual body composition and ability to adhere to this diet. Minimum 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. On top of that, you want to do as much cardio as you can humanly sustain. If I had to guess, it's probably not going to be much. So you're eating barely enough, remember, 5th circle of hell here, not 7th. Training like a motherfucker, and doing so much cardio that your friends think that you quit weightlifting and you're now trying to be some kind of competitive cyclist. Now, some things to keep in mind with both of these protocols / scenarios. Honestly, you're pretty much bound to lose some size and strength. In some cases, you might be able to avoid that, just get by with maintaining your strength. But at the end of the day here, we're just trying to lose as much fat as we humanly can in as short of a time period as possible. Of course, it's not going to be sustainable, and it's definitely not going to be optimal for your long-term progress. But if you have some kind of extreme case scenario, i.e. a wedding, some kind of cruise, beach event, revenge on your girlfriend, maybe you'd want to implement something like this. If you've got a little more time on your hands, I would recommend completely skipping these protocols and going to my ultimate guide to fat loss video, because that's gonna do you much better than the 7th circle of hell will.